Friends, Cowboy Jobu here with the Jobu Report. And as always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscriibing to the Jobu Report. And if you haven't yet, click on the picture of me and Sean Lee so that way you can get the Jobu Report. Well, seems like the worm has turned. That's right, Stephen A. Smith seems like he's found a new accident waiting to happen. Oh, and he's in rare form today. Believe it or not, he is on the Washington Redskins worse than he's ever been on the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go to the tape of the new accident waiting to happen.
That's Stephen A. in the house, Max Kellerman, Molly Farrow.
What's up?
How are you feeling?
What's going on?
Why are you so fired up?
Let's go. Oh, let's go.
I don't know.
It's Wednesday Eve, or does that make it worse?
Oh, no.
I'll take Wednesday Eve.
Ain't about Wednesday Eve. It's about a whole bunch of chirping that was going on in the nation's capital over the last few months. I'm naming names. I'm naming names. Let's go. Let's go. How y'all doing? Let's go.
Monday Night Football has not been kind to our nation's capital. Just ask one Stephen A. Smith. The Redskins are 1-16. Listen to that, 1-16 at home on Monday Night Football since 1998, falling to a Panthers team that is last in the NFC South. Last year's NFC East champs are now 7-6-1, third in the NFC East, and fell from the 6th spot to the 8th spot in the NFC. Mr. Smith, do I have your undivided attention?
Oh, yeah? Go ahead. Ask the question. Ask the question right here.
What's happened to the Redskins?
Oh, they flopped. I'm sorry. Let me. How would you like me to do this, Max Kellerman? Do you want me to say they flopped? You want me to go like this? You want to go like this? That's what y'all want me to do?
Don't get in trouble.
I don't know.
I just remember they were talking a lot.
I didn't know slash mark or whatever. I said choke. I ain't getting no trouble for choking. You choked. I didn't choke. You understand? I'm not wishing ill will upon you. I believed in the Redskins. Am I not? Am I lying? Did I not believe in them? Did I not talk about Deshaun Jackson? Did I not talk about Pierre Garçon? Did I not talk about Jordan Reed? Did I not talk about all of these dudes? Did I not talk about Matt Jones? Did I not warn that dude to not run his mouth before they played against the Cowboys? Because they ain't had a running game since. Did I not warn him about that? Did I not talk about Kirk Cousins and how I applauded this man? Believing in himself, betting on himself, approaching his final year of the contract, taking a franchise tag for $19.95 million. Was that not me? Was I not the one that was subjected to scrutiny by my friend Doc Walker? His radio show in D.C. That's my man. I love Doc Walker. Brian Mitchell don't know him too well. Really good guy. Very, very knowledgeable about football. You understand? We know what he did as a Redskin. No disrespect to him, no shade to him. But I would dare say that he was cruel to me. He was not kind to me when I was a guest on 980 ESPN radio in Washington, D.C., treating a guest like that. Why? Because I had the temerity. Because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall to sit up there and say, excuse me, why are you walking around here calling yourself the champions of the NFC East and all of this other stuff when the Dallas Cowboys are in first place? That was me. If y'all don't believe me, if y'all don't recall what the video stated, could you show it, please? Take it away.
We run the damn East, not Philly, not all of them. Who got that damn thing? Y'all forgot who the real champs of the NFC East is. Everybody picking up the champs.
You see what I'm saying? This is not about numbers. This is not about the night that Cam Newton had. This is not about the night that the Redskins, statistically speaking, they didn't show up. They were missing tackles. They were dropping passes. This was about the fact that this was a Monday night game. By the way, a Monday night game, I think they've lost 16 of their last 17 appearances on Monday Night Football. I would dare make the argument that Redskins should be banned from Monday Night Football. I don't think they should be allowed. Why do you get to lose that much on national TV? We shouldn't be subjected to such an ineptitude. I would say that the NFL schedule makers should prohibit, forbid, ban the Washington Redskins from Monday Night Football until further notice, because I think a legitimate argument can be made that they no longer belong on national television. Your offense couldn't get anything going. Your defense couldn't make stops when it needed to. You had Josh Norman out there, okay? You know that you acquired him. He's a $50 million man guaranteed, $75 million overall. You were looking for him to make some noise, but he needed help. And you had a whole bunch of dudes on the Redskins who are relative rough riders. We know they can play. I got respect for them, but we question, what did I say? Just like the Cowboys can be an accident waiting to happen, what do I say about the Redskins? They are allergic to prosperity. The second you expect anything from this team, they don't show up. Poor John Gruden there, watching his little brother coach this team last night, being subjected to this nonsense on national television. But I'm not surprised, because when you chirp and chirp and chirp, you know, these are the kind of things that happen. And by the way, I've gotten on the Dallas Cowboys without winning a Super Bowl since 1995.
Really? Oh.
The Redskins haven't won one since 1991. 1991. This team is 25 years and counting away from a Super Bowl. The team with the Hogs, the team with, you know, I mean, Joe Gibbs is the coach. Joe Theismann was a Super Bowl. Mark Ripien won a damn Super Bowl, for crying out loud. Dougie Williams, the first black quarterback to do it. I mean, there's great history and tradition with these Washington Redskins. Does this team stand up to the challenge and respond? No. They fold like cheap tents. They folded. They choked. They didn't get it done. They brought it on themselves, and that's what I wanted to say.
I have one more question for you. I want to follow up with this.
Sure.
What was the criticism? Look, when they came out and said, then I'll get to my point. When they came out and said, we're the champs of the NFC, we run the NFC East. It's early in the season. You're not in first place. Who cares who wins the, you got to be kidding me. You get shellacked in the playoffs in your one playoff game last year, whooped up on, and at home, and you're talking smack early in the next season. So you were critical of them. You said they were cruel to you when you went on the radio. How were they cruel? What did they say?
I must say, you know, I'll allow me to regurgitate that. Doc Walker is the voice of the Redskins. That's my brother. I love him. I'm just playing around, but that's my man, you know, okay? But my man Brian Mitchell, I don't know him that well, but cool, brother. He go on the radio show, and I'm like, yo, man, could you let me talk? Well, I ain't ask you to be on the damn show. I don't care whether you're on the show or not. I was like, treating a guest this way. He was so disrespectful to me.
What was their argument, though?
Their argument was, why you going to get on the Redskins like that?
They're not that good.
Because, you know, you would just speculate. You just guessing about what? That I saw him walking into the locker room talking smack, so I had a comment about it. It wasn't like I did some insider report and reported some false information or something like that. All I did was say, what the hell are you worried about?
Today is the day. Look, even if you were guessing, your guess turned out to be right.
To answer your question directly, it seemed to be a bit personal to me. It seemed like Brian Mitchell felt like I was talking about him, like he's still playing for the Redskins. No, when he was playing for the Redskins, they were actually winning games. Not the case right now.
Yeah, well,
so
I mean, they win.
What's up?
They win half their games. Listen, here's the thing about Washington, and they took it personally, which means they're also thin-skinned on top of being mediocre. They are, as Richard Sherman once said about Crabtree, which it hasn't turned out to be true, but it is true about Washington, mediocre. Your franchise, actually a terrible owner, actually a subpar franchise. But the team, this iteration of the franchise, this team is mediocre. You're an 8-8 type team. And for them to pretend that they're otherwise and to be critical of you or anyone, which also shows they're thin-skinned, is ridiculous. And today is the day for those who predicted that they're mediocre or that you shouldn't be bragging early in the season about running the NFC East when you're not even in first place at that point. That's the day that those people get to gloat, and you have to shut up. Now, here's the problem with Washington.
Go ahead.
And this is what I took from the game.
I thought you just said the problem very eloquently, I might add, but continue.
Thank you very much.
But continue.
The problem is this. The playoffs are on the line. You are at home on Monday Night Football, favored against a team with, though they're not mathematically eliminated in Carolina, nothing to play for. That team looked like it quit on this season long ago. You're favored to win, and they come into your house on Monday Night Football. And this is the most troubling thing if you're a Washington fan. On both sides of the ball, in terms of the running game, they were dominated. Now, why is that significant?
Yes.
Because at this point of the season, what that comes down to is the point of attack on the line of scrimmage. And what that comes down to is who's ready to play. So the bottom line is the Washington franchise rolled over and said, scratch my belly. With the playoffs on the line, at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage, they got punked. Both sides of the ball.
Right.
That is a mediocre team that is not ready for prime time.
Well, you can say they're a mediocre team. They don't have mediocre talent to me. I think Jordan Reed is a stud. He was stupid last night for getting himself kicked out of the game. That just wasn't smart. First of all, what the hell are you doing punching somebody with a helmet on? They got a helmet on and you're using your fist to punch them. That's just dumb, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not calling him dumb. I'm calling his actions dumb, stupid, idiotic, and worthy of being ejected from the game just for stupidity alone. What the hell are you? First of all, you're fragile enough. You're always injured. And then you're going to sit up there with your hand and punch somebody's helmet? That's just stupid. That's number one. Number two, see, I told you I'm naming names here. This dude, Robert Kelly, remember him?
Oh, you're back on him?
Hold on, wait a minute. This is the dude that talked about the what do you call the Cowboys? The Cowgirl?
Cowgirls.
Right, before he played the Cowboys. So they happened to lose that game. That game, he rushes for 37 yards. 37 yards. Do you know this man hasn't had more than 63 yards rushing in the game since? And oh, by the way, last night, 9 carries, 8 yards. So you chirped and opened your mouth, and sure enough, you ain't getting it done. And so I look at stuff like that. I'm not going to get on my man Chris Baker because he's got a mouth, but he backs it up. He can play the whole bit. Collectively speaking, they got to get something together. I don't know if Jay Gruden is the answer, but at the same time, I can't put last night on him. They're professionals. They get paid. If there was something schematically wrong and guys were wide open and y'all seem to be a bit discombobulated, that I will point the finger at. But in terms of effort, in terms of making tackles, in terms of making catches, I can't put that on Jay Gruden. I got to look at this team. And please don't get me wrong. Doc Walk, I'm playing around because I got nothing but love for them. But Doc Walk, this football, I will lean on them to give me the expertise on the nuances that may have transpired yesterday.
You think you'll get a call today?
Every year, though? Every year you need the nuances, they never win.
Well, I'm just saying, but they call it out. I'm saying they call it like they see it, so I'm good with that.
Right.
I'm just simply saying, with this Redskins team, you got Josh Norman, you got Breland, you got Kerrigan in the crew, you got Baker in the crew. On offense, Garcon, Deshaun Jackson, Crowder's big time. Come on, you got all the weapons.
They don't have the guys up front on defense. To me, they are an averagely talented team on offense, over average,
team,
on defense, under average, maybe barely. Let me tell you something. Forget about the fact that they have an arrogant and unapologetic owner who should change the name of that team years ago and is doubling down. It's stupid and arrogant.
I'm glad you brought it up because that's where your heart lies.
Well, okay, fine. Number two, I'm also a Giants fan. Let me tell Washington, and I lived in D.C. for 15 months. At least I had an apartment down there when I was hosting originally Around the Horn in 0203.
Yes.
I know what kind of football town that is. It's an insane football town. There is no town in the United States of America that cares more about their team than Washington cares about their team. I acknowledge that, guys. But let me just tell you what it's like to be a Giants fan, a fan of another team in the NFC East. I see the Cowboys on the schedule. I'm like, ooh, I want to get them. That's going to be a tough game. I see the Eagles on the schedule, even when the Eagles aren't good. Like, I'm worried about this week's game with the Eagles because they always play the Giants tough. The one team, and it doesn't mean that the Giants always win this game, where the other NFC East teams go, oh, good, we got them on the schedule, is Washington. The rest of the division loves to see you on the schedule because everyone else we view as a tougher situation than Washington. They are the ones, even when they won the division last year, even when they had RG3, and I was like, uh-oh, he's a problem. I was still happier to see them on the schedule coming up than the Cowboys or the Eagles.
The difference between those old teams and this one is this one has more mouth. They talk a lot. Yeah. And they fail to back it up.
Well, they won't win it again this year. We
haven't
had a repeat champ in the NFC East in 12 years. You know what time it is, folks? Time to keep up with the Jones.